For September's Makeup Monthly Box, I'm going to show you all of the products in action. So first off is a sunscreen. It's what I have on my face today. This is from the brand Dear Klairs. It's their Soft Airy UV Essence SPF 50 PA++++++. It's like a semi-medium thick texture, and I can honestly state that it does feel like one of those water gel, but also like a lotion in one, so a complete hybrid, like a triple threat, because it like looks like lotion in your hands, and I start to warm it up. So I'm going to show you the application, and then I put it into my skin. Like I can either pat it in or rub it into my skin. No white cast, none at all. It sinks in, and sure enough, it does not feel greasy. I have not broken out from this sunscreen. I've had no skin allergies, no irritation. It wasn't until I was in the bathroom and I had the light on, an extra light on. This happened to be right in front of the lamp. Just 1 minute. I looked through it, and I mean, it's right up down here. It's already right here. And I'm like, wait a minute. So the bottle, the product is not all the way up here. So I don't feel in reality that there is the full amount that's in this tube. This is 2.7 fluid ounces. It looks actually fairly large. So that's my only complaint. Really, that's my only complaint, because everything else seemed to be working fine with this. I just don't know where it is. And I don't like that misleading type of see-throughness with a container where you get it and you think that you're getting all this product, and then you actually look through it and it's like, oh, the product is really right down here. So you're not paying for the actual full-size amount. Next is a glow product. Of course, right? With Stephanie, there's got to be a glow product. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Hollywood Flawless Filter for Superstar Youth Glow. That's what the packaging looks like. The Flawless Filter comes in several shades. I actually picked up the deepest shade, so this is number 7 Dark. You can apply the product directly from this wand applicator. I know some people just like to swipe it on their face. I tend to mix this with my foundation or whatever product I want to put on my face. So I actually just use my mixing plate. It's a product that you can wear on its own, so you can wear it like a face primer and be done with it. Just have that, you know, radiant glow on your skin, or you can mix it in with your foundation, which is pretty much what I do. I love to mix it in with my foundation, or I'll put it on first, and if I'm wearing a stick foundation that day, then I just put the stick product on top of it. Either way, I can see just that natural glow. That glow that I love. It's not something that has some shimmer particles in it, anything that's too chunky or glittery. Just, it's not that type of a product. It's something I feel that is going to make your skin look better than how it looks just naturally on its own. Now, I'm not going to wear this today, because I want you to see the next product, which is the foundation. I actually want you to see the actual foundation color on my face. My next product is going to be the tool that I'm going to use to put on the foundation that I want to talk about. And this is from the company StansOut Beauty Company. It's their makeup blending sponge. Looking at my notes, I wrote down, when it's dry, it feels like an exotic piece of bread. Okay, I know why I wrote exotic piece of bread. You know when you go like to a restaurant and then there's a little bread basket and it's all different types of bread that you probably never really either heard of or you just don't buy for yourself. It feels like that. It feels like those types of bread. Like I haven't really felt anything like this, like a squishy little piece of bread. What else did I write? When it's wet, it doesn't feel dripping wet, and it has a higher bounce when it's wet. It's recommended to use the sponge damp the first 3 to 5 times while it's in its break-in period. After that, the water is optional. I've been loving the finish with it damp, so I'm just going to continue using it damp. Foundation that I wore for September, and I still have just a little bit left for the video, is the BeautyBlender foundation. So just kind of bounce that on and also kind of stipple it. I am the shade 4.30, and the shade that is above 4.30, that one was too light, and then the one below 4.30 was too dark. 4.30 is a good match for me. Same with all my foundation reviews. When I am testing them for the first time, I won't wear a primer. I want to see how my skin oils is going to react to it. Is it going to change color and so forth? And my skin was reacting fine with this foundation. It did not change in color. I didn't have any type of reaction. Going back to the stand sponge, I mean, do you just see how that blended into my skin? Using this side, the bigger side, I like how it feels on my skin. First of all, it just feels like a pillow. Feels like a pillow on my skin. I really enjoy that. And I have a nice, just a grip right here. I don't feel like anything's slishing and sloshing around or anything's gonna fall out of my hand. I don't see any streaks. I don't see anything like, you know, gathering, and other than my hair keeps like going past this headband, I don't see it clinging to you know, any dry patches. Well, I guess that's the foundation too. I don't see it gathering around my nose. Now, if you need to get into hard to reach areas, these pointy parts of the sponge, that's when you can kind of do that. Usually it's like around the nose. But otherwise, it just does a really good job. My dark marks have been fading so fast. So I haven't really been needing to use a lot of extra foundation in certain areas, but I just wanted to see how it was going to build up. Now I see it, and I have been seeing it built up on like my dark spots right here. It's not covering it completely, but I do see where it is. Basically, you know, like there's like a second layer there that it is starting to help cover that. A huge part of the color uproar as far as the shades with the foundation was that it appeared that a lot of the shades looked the same, whether it was from the light category, medium, or the dark category, that a lot of the shades were overlapping. I can look at a range of foundation colors, and my eye is already trained to pick out and notice the different various undertones of something. So what might look to your naked eye or to a person's naked eye might look like 5 shades, for example. 5 of the shades are all the same. I can look at it and see the different variances. I can see where something looks warm, something might could look neutral, cool, or olive. It will come out. Or I know what to do on perhaps my arm or out in the natural sunlight that would show me the different variances in the color. But again, to the naked eye, it might look the same. That's just something as a makeup artist, you know, or a professional, you're able to look and to see. The fall sale is coming up, so just word to the wise, it's already on my list. We'll see if I cave them. Let's real quick back to the sponge. See how it's all dirtied up like this? When I go to wash this sponge, I can't get it to go back to white. I can't get it to go back to its original color. I have tried different cleansers, and I'm gonna be frank, with my Beauty Blender, I can either use the Beauty Blender cleanser, I can use my Dawn dish soap, I can really use any of my cleansers, and everything comes out and it goes back to whatever the color is. Even the Beauty Blender that is white, that would be its only con. I wish that it would go back to its original color. I don't have a concealer that I was trying out for September, but I am going to put on the concealer that I'm going to do a separate review on. So I'm going to do that first and come back. Also picked up a sample of Laura Mercier's Flawless Skin Oil, and I used every drop of that oil that Sephora gave me. Now, this was something that was on my wish list, on my loves list. It is a lightweight oil. It's a restorative oil. It's a carrier oil, so it's going to be great for your skin. For a $65 oil, I know that those particular ingredients being so high up on the list, I can get those oils, you know, at my local Marshalls, my TJ Maxx and so forth, and just be happy with those. Let's move on to brows. Now, this is a product that I had said I was not going to pick up during Ulta's 21 Days of Beauty, but I was already at Ulta on that day that it was on sale, and I caved. I mean, I'm allowed to change my mind, right? This is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's the brow definer. I'm going to brush my brows here like I have it in my updated brow routine. So what I do with the brow definer, because it has that slant tip and it's fairly thick, I will go ahead and start to fill in And I don't even really need to press hard because it just starts to lay the product down. Why is it sometimes hard to talk and do this at the same time? Then I'll turn the pen on its pointy side here, wherein I want to start to define it. Oh, that's in the title. This is another pencil that's very easy, very fast to do. Well, I feel it's fast to do my brows and fill it in and shape it, and it's done. So I'm happy that I was in the store, I'm happy I swatched it, and I picked it up at half off. I don't have a new bronzer that I tried out, so I'm just going to use the one that I used yesterday, so it's still right here on the desk, and it's Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is in the shade Deep. I do have 3 blushes to share. First is Wet n Wild's Color Icon Shade Shifting Blush. This is in the shade Zombie Blush. Try saying that 3 times. So this is from their Halloween collection, and it was on their display. On my skin tone, this looks like a plum-based color. And then when the light hits it, it's like you can see like that shimmer of green. It's really kind of trippy like that. Depending on your skin tone, this color is going to look different on you. So if you are fair skin, you're going to look like this. Like this color is really going to show up where you're going to have that green, that bruise look. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to, you know, look like a bruise, like a zombie, death, and so forth. This is something that I'm going to be wearing year round. I'm actually not going to wear it in this video. I have some other ones, but of course you did see the swatch, and I think it's beautiful. Next blush is from Laura Mercier. It's the blush color Infusion, and I'm not certain if this is one of those new ones that came out from their collection. I can't recall. I selected the shade Rose, which is a matte rosy pink. I picked this one out from my Octoly store to try. I'm actually going to apply it with my Laura brush. Now this is actually my brush. It wasn't sent to me. I've already have it. And the reason why I'm going to use it with something that is, okay, look at the shape of this. This is like the dome shape, and it's a little bit more dense, so it's going to pick up a lot more powder. First, what I do is I just press and pat it on, and then I just kind of blend it out just like that. So see at first initial application how it's kind of just real subtle. That's going to be your preference. Do you want it like that? Do you not? I want it to have a lot more color. I just really like blush, and I just want it to be poppin'. You remember the collection from Bobbi Brown that was called Slopes, like ski slopes? That blush that's called Slopes. To this day, I kid you not, I wish I had picked up that blush. That blush, okay, this is my 3rd time dipping in here. That blush reminds me of just coming in from the cold, coming in from the snow, and I mean no matter who wore that blush. Light skin, pale skin, dark skin, medium skin. We all looked like we came in from the cold. And there you go. Rose every day. Beautiful color. I zoomed you in closer because now I'm going to talk about the eyeshadows, and I wanted you to really see the makeup up close as far as the shadows and the blending and so forth. So real quick, I want to talk about the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palettes, the small ones that came out from the vault. Unfortunately, when I was swatching the shadows on my eyes, I actually swatched all of them on my eyes because I was going to do a review. And then by the time I finished up, I was like, there's a million videos already out there, but at least I got to see how they were all performing. And the mattes were very patchy on my eye, and the metallics were kind of all over the place. Some would be very pigmented with just one swipe, and then others would be patchy and falling out everywhere. I returned that Dark Magic palette back to Ulta, and I used that credit along with a 30% off Makeup Revolution coupon, and I picked up the Emily Edit palette. Emily's handle is Emily Noel 83, so she collaborated on 2 palettes, one for face and then one focusing more for the eyes with the brand Makeup Revolution. This is the eye that's going to come back already done. This is primed and I already have on my color on it. So for this eye, and I'll try to remember to talk and everything at the same time, today I'm just going to use the Urban Decay Primer Potion, same as I tend to use it on. I do use the Luxie 110 Detail Flat Blender brush. This probably will be the only brush I might mention in this video. I'm not used to tutorials. I keep saying I need to do them more, and then I don't. Just want to review, but I know One of these days I'm going to make it a goal. So I tend to just pat it on, or you'll see me go on with my finger, either way. Now I have oily eyelids, very oily eyelids. So that is why I always set my primer. No matter what, I have to set it. Oh, I forgot to do the bottom one, see, because I'm talking. I'm going to use this big old giant fluffy brush, which is of life for me and my shadows, as well as for the face. So I go into the shade Hobby. So Hobby is going to be the shade that I'm going to set the primer with, but it's also going to work as my transition color. Go underneath my eye, set it. And so today I said, well, let me go ahead and use the pinks because I haven't really been using the pinks. I'm going to go into Dues Paid with a brush that is just smaller but still fluffier as the Real Technique one. This is the M504 from Morphe. So this is going to be my next color. So what I'm going to be doing is gradually going from lighter to dark, as far as in the pink family, and adding some other colors. And you're going to notice that with the brush as well. The brushes are going to go from big to smaller to add the definition and you know, the contrast. With the Wants palette, what I like about it is there is that gradient effect there, because I do have a contrast between some lights and some darks and in between shades. So I can really utilize all those different shades to create, again, that nice cohesive eye, which is why Hobby, Midwest, Prayer, I mean, those shades are those good transition shades I see for various skin tones to kind of incorporate when you start going into the darker colors here, like Family and Pie Pie. I think that's the fraternity. Apartment, Corduroy, and Dark and Early. So just some tips right there. Going in with a blending brush just to kind of soften the edges. I was looking for big hair using rollers. I specifically remember, and then she pulled up and been watching her ever since. Next shade is Laugh Cry, and again, smaller brush going down in size from the M504. So this is M441. First, I'm going to focus right here on the outer edge, and it's just to get a little bit more of the color on this portion because I have to go a little bit further out on my eye shape here. Here's the photos of the Need palette, the face palette. So that's like a smaller palette. It's primarily, well, it is the eyes as far as the face for Emily. I already knew that the face palette was not going to work for my skin tone because I'm a different skin tone than Emily. You know, Emily is Caucasian. I did try the bronzer. The bronzer actually looked nice on my skin tone. I did not like the highlighter or the blush. That looked really ashy on my skin tone. So for me, again, coming in there knowing it wasn't, the shades weren't going to be the best flattering for my skin tone, I didn't even want to bother with the eyeshadows. But what I would have liked to have seen and what would have been different than a lot of the collaborations that are already going on with other influencers is if they had two face palettes. So yes, there's one face palette for Emily, you know, Emily's fair skin, people that watch. But, you know, I mean, she has viewers, I'm sure, from all walks of life, all skin tones, ethnicities, backgrounds, and so forth. So it would have been nice to have a second face palette to, like, if you want to call it deep or medium to deep, but something to cover a little bit more of the other spectrum. I'm going to use Love Tons with this Smith brush, Smith 232. It is just a hair smaller than the brush I used before. Now, if you're thinking, girl, I ain't got time for all this dipping in and changing the brushes, this is just a suggestion. This is how I've been using the palette. This is how I use my eyeshadows. This is how I blend. This is how I do the eye looks. So I just, again, want to show you the overall performance of the shadows themselves. As the colors start getting darker, they are transitioning into one another well. This is also my first introduction into Makeup Revolution eyeshadows to begin with. I'm trying to think. I did try out their version of Kat Von D's Shade and Light palette for the eye, the all mattes, And I remember that the Makeup Revolution one was very dusty. I didn't get any color payoff, and I just took it back. I took it back to Ulta, and I haven't used any of their eyeshadow palettes until now. I'm going back in with, what is this? The Sigma E40, the blending brush. I love to that. And again, just softening out any of these edges. So there you go. I forgot to mention that I took this brush from BECCA Cosmetics for Ulta, and with Laugh Cry, I put it on my lower lash line for that eye. So let me go ahead and do it on this side. Now I'm going to dip into Pi Pi and Family, because Family is still purple and Pi Pi is purple too, and I want a mixture of both those, but Family has more of a blue purple with the smallest brush, and this is focusing on the crease. This is the Senna Mini Feather 19. Cannot live without this brush. I'm going to be doing a favorite brush video, eyes and face, because I need to unpack those brushes, so I'm going to be doing a video for you. So this is what's going to go first. I'm with the mixture of the two colors. Family and Pi Pi is going to go right here on the outer edge first of my crease, and then as I start to go in, I'm going to focus with Family. I'm going into Family by itself because that's what I'm going to put on the very, you can't see because left-handed, very inner portion of my crease, and work that in. I'm going to go into Family only, and Family is what I'm going to use as my darkest shade for the lower lash line, and just start to blend that in. I'm going to pick up Heartbeat. I'm going to use this one from Crown. This is a synthetic brush. It's C467 Precision Eye Detail. Let me just focus that, so that way you can see how much it actually picked up. Now I'm going to try to show me again. There we go. Now I'm going to show you how it looks like on the lid with no glitter glue. So I'm just going to focus it right here. First, what I'm going to do is press it and still kind of pat it on. That keeps it from going all over the place and giving me the most intensity right here. See? There it is right there. Now for the glitter glue, I'm going to take this small little brush here, doesn't matter what brush you use, and I'm going to put on now the glitter glue. And I want to put it all over the lid here, because that's kind of, well, it is where I'm going to put the shadow. And I'm also just going to pat it on top of the Heartbeat that I just did. Again, I just wanted you to see what it looked like. I'm going to now turn it over to the other side of the brush that I didn't use, and I'm going to do 2 swipes again with Heartbeat. It looks kind of creamy now. Actually, let me show that to you. See, it almost looks like a cream glitter shadow. Oops. And place that. Okay, now I'm going to go in. And this is what I do, is I let it sit just a little bit. Well, not that long. It's just because I was talking. But, you know, put it on like that. You'll notice your glitter isn't going to start, or metallics, whatever you're using, it's not going to start flying all over the place in the air. See all these little tips you're getting here when I do these eyeshadows? I need to do these eyeshadow looks more often. I'm going to let it fade right into the crease area here of the darkest matte color. And then I'm going to go in one more time, so just one little swipe right there. And I'm going to go over the glitter glue portion here of Heartbeat. Why can't I remember the name? Or the first one that I showed you with no glue, but now it had a little glue on top. So still, you know, a little bit of darkness right here. Patting that on, and now it's not going to transfer into my crease and go every which way. I'm using Belle Violet as the tear duct shade, and I'm just using the dense side of this ABH brush that comes in there. eyeshadow palette because it just fits right into my tear duct groove here. Getting this Twilight vibes going on. Twilight Saga was on this past weekend, so I was watching it. But yeah, Bella and Edward and all that mess. Jacob, Team Jacob. Anyways, that's it. I didn't have a new mascara eyeliner, so I just went ahead and did that right now. But I do have a new highlighter that I was using. So I have you up close still so we can look at that up close and personal. And it's from BECCA. And this is the Shimmering Skin Perfector Pressed. And it is in the shade Chocolat Geode. We're just going to say chocolate. That's a dry application. But the next product, this is like the last product that I've been using, is a setting spray. So this is from GlamGlow. It's the Glow Setter Makeup Setting Spray. Now, I talked about, this was in my loves list for Sephora, so I wanted to try it. And I got the smaller size because I just wanted to see how it would work. What I've been doing with this highlighter is I will spray the other side of my sponge here, and then I'm just going to start setting my highlighter. I'll just go a couple times like this. Boom, melted into the skin. I'm breathing it in because the smell of this highlighter, it smells exactly like a creamsicle. Whatever's on that side that I used, I don't even go back into the highlighter. This is when you can just kind of go onto kind of like the higher points of where you want to glow naturally, and you don't have to worry about all this extra product on your sponge and getting onto your face. This has that ultra fine mist. So overall, I think this was a great month for me for September. I am very pleased with the products that I have picked out and was working with for the month. The sunscreen, I do wish it was full size, but other than that, overall, I am pleased with everything. I hope this video was helpful for you if you were interested in any of the products mentioned, and I gave you enough feedback and experience to help you make an informed decision. Please let me know in the comments if you have any additional questions or concerns, and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching, everyone. As always, I do appreciate it. Have a wonderful day or evening. And as always, I'm going to see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.